Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Viv. I'm making another video. Today on Twitter, something pretty interesting is going down. I am recording this real quick so that I don't forget to have it. I'm not going to post it right away because I actually have another video that is scheduled to go live tomorrow. And in the video, I'm like, you guys, this um, trend, this traditionalism trend isn't going to end, but what's going to happen is it's going to shift, and the shift is going to happen pretty quickly. And I haven't made a video specifically talking about the trad movement. I mention it in the video that's going live tomorrow, but the trad movement was a reactionary thing that happened because the red pillars were being so loud about their perspective, which, that's fine. Free speech, America. Okay, that's great. But it really rubbed a lot of women the wrong way. And so their reaction to the information they were getting was to come up with this thing called trad. And unfortunately, the trad movement is not traditional, not even close. It's all a LARP. It's a bunch of people pretending to be religious. They're pretending to be traditional. Some of them are pretending to be married. They're pretending to be mothers. They're pretending to be rich. They're pretending to be all this stuff. And granted, there are a handful of people who are legitimately real people, and that is their lifestyle. They may be Catholic, they may be Protestant, whatever, but they are actually living as close to traditional marriages as is possible in our modern society. But there are so many fakes that it has to stop because, as I mentioned in the video that's going live tomorrow, there is no way that you can think that you are a traditional woman when you are baking pies naked. All you have on is an apron, and you're essentially just simp farming. You're just simp farming. You're supposed to be a wife and a mother, not a sexual object for strangers on the internet. I'm not saying that all women are doing that, because they're not. And here we have one of the first examples of someone being outed for being a literal catfish. Now, I don't interact with this account at all, and I don't interact with the account that posted this investigation, but because it's relevant to my topic, I am going to cover it. I don't really care about the trad movement insofar that it's a LARP. And I recognize that it's a LARP, and I'm moving on from it, because you cannot tell me that you're helping society when you're talking young girls into living an extravagant lifestyle, or try to aspire to this extravagant lifestyle that falls totally out of the purview of anything that anyone would recognize as traditional. Half of these girls making content, the first thing in your mind should be, where is your dad? But apparently you're trad, because you wear a see-through sundress and you can see your naked body underneath it. Let's be real here, you guys. Okay, so we're going to go through this thread. Let's get into the page. And this is just my reaction, like my knee-jerk, speaking of trad LARPers. And there are people online that, especially genuine red pillars, people who aren't coming out to say inflammatory things to women, about women, or get women riled up just for, the views and stuff. But feminists will attack them because they don't agree with what these people are saying, but they're not being rude, they're not being mean, and they're not being derogatory in any way. And they get along with me just fine. So, that's my litmus test. But genuine red pillars, and men and women who understand what's going on society-wide, and in the legal system, and in a lot of these institutions like the schools and the workplace, DEI, and all this different stuff, we're all on the same page. We recognize that these LARPers are LARPing. So let's get into this, because this is some juicy stuff. I'm usually not into gossip, but this is funny. This is really, really funny, because I've actually had interactions with this girl, Patriarchy Hannah, before, and I called her out for being a fraud, and she cut me off immediately. She just stopped talking to me. I didn't even care if she blocked me or not, but it doesn't matter if she did or not. I'm not even going to look because I don't remember and I don't care because this guy can obviously still see her page, so it doesn't matter. But this is funny. Let me get a sippy sip of water so I can talk through this real quick. So this guy, Ryan Duff, asks, who is Patriarchy Hannah at Harmonized Grace? Okay, join me on a deep dive as I explain how Hannah is a completely fabricated persona and how a random 37-year-old woman in Arkansas named Jennifer Bays is behind this account. I wonder how he found out what her real name was. It probably wasn't that hard to figure out. You click it. Click on it. Let's see what happens. Okay, here we go. Let's put on. First, some quick background. Quote-unquote Patriarchy Hannah is an account that portrays a trad wife who has 14 kids. Okay, that's common for Catholics. I've seen that it's not common today, but Catholics used to have a lot of kids. So, I mean, 14, 17, especially if you're Irish, yeah. Seen a few of those in my time, but not recently. She would have had to start having kids when she was like 16. She's 37. Patriarchy Hannah, trad wife, 14 kids. Her husband, quote unquote Tony, owns a construction company and a town. So Tony owns a town, and Tony's town is named Tony Town, where the family and kids live. Okay, I think, yeah. She's gained a large following over the past few years. She also ran a Discord community where some of her followers talk and hang out. Says Discord was disbanded yesterday after allegations surfaced that Hannah was not who she claimed to be. This has 65,000 views. 65,000 views. That's 65,000 people who are now going to be like, well, what am I doing? This is lame. I need to find something else to do, and I need to find something that actually supports my values. So, ladies, if you care at all to get ahead of this dowry trend that's coming round the bend like a freight train, I would suggest you listen to what I have to say because I sincerely want to help you nail this one to the wall. It started with a house. In November 2023, Hannah claimed that she just built a house in Tonytown for her son and soon-to-be daughter-in-law. Unfortunately, this house wasn't built by her husband, Tony, and his friends. It was built by a custom home builder for a different person. And here are the tweets that she posted back in 2023 about the house she claimed she bestowed upon her child as a wedding gift. So in this scenario, she's engaged in what would be classified bride price. So the family would have contributed to the financial foundation of their offspring, the son in this case. The house matches the Google Street View and satellite imagery down to the propane tank in the side yard and the stairs down into the river. Property records confirm it was built by a woman and her sister in 2020 for their mother, who has since passed in 2023. This lady is sick. Hannah has since deleted this post when people called her out on it. But how did she get a picture of the house from across the river? Well, it turns out, quote unquote, Hannah's parents, Bobby and Joe Lynn, own property there. It's in a yellow box. As you can see, it's in convenient walking distance to the river peninsula behind the house she claimed they built. So the house in the red box is the house that she lied that she built for her son and his new bride. And the house that her parents own is this one right down there. Liar, liar, pants on fire. But you can see that even with somebody who is catfishing, that this concept of dowry is so ingrained in the unconscious of humankind that you could rely on it to be believed when you're telling a lie. That it would solidify you in the eyes of other people who would consider themselves traditionalists, no less. So, ladies, you really don't have a reason to refuse to participate in this new movement, especially if you're a sincere and genuine person. So, let's keep going. Okay, so how do you know Jennifer is Hannah? At one point, one of the ladies in the group was sent a stroller. The Amazon receipt said from Jennifer, and the name on the Amazon account was Jennifer's mother, Jo Lynn, with an address in Arkansas. This address matches a whole set of addresses Jennifer and her parents have lived at across Arkansas and Louisiana. More evidence that points to the Bays family connection. And now that we have reasonable suspicion that Jennifer Bays is pretending to be Hannah, let's explore that a bit. Yeah, that's a literal receipts right there. The Louisiana house. A few years ago, Hannah had shared an address with some of the ladies in the group. Property records on that address show an LLC listed as the owner. Louisiana business search records show that the LLC is owned by Jennifer's parents, Bobby and Jo Lynn Bays. She also shared a picture in her Discord, which just happens to match the Zillow pictures for that address. God, the internet is awesome. I am never leaving Twitter. This is awesome. The other Louisiana house. Jennifer's parents owned another property nearby, approximately 20 to 30 minutes away. At one point, she provided pictures from that house, and as you'd expect, the pictures from inside the house match what's found on Zillow. At this point, we can be reasonably confident that someone within the Bays family is pretending to be Hannah. That's interesting. Hannah's grandmother. In September, Hannah's grandmother passed away. As it turns out, it is the same exact day Jennifer's grandmother passed. In Jennifer's grandmother's obituary, there's mention of a Haiti Education Foundation as a place to send donations. Hannah joked that Bobby and Jo Lynn Bays are the parents of Jennifer. It also clarifies that of the 4 grandchildren that Jennifer is included in, there are only 3 great-grandchildren. The plot thickens. I'm not going to click on these pictures because I'll lose the thread. Tony. So far, there is no evidence that Tony exists, besides some lightly used X account that would occasionally interact with Hannah. Per Jennifer's grandmother's obituary, Jennifer's not married. Woo! Woo, that burns. As for the construction company Tony supposedly owns, building homes, it turns out that's actually what Jennifer's father does. Oh, okay. She's another mother. Kids. Per the obituary of Jennifer's grandmother 5 months ago, only 3 great-grandchildren were mentioned. But I thought Hannah had 14 kids. Does she have any at all? Tonytown. Hannah has shared pictures of Tonytown, where they live. As it turns out, this is just the next town north of Jennifer's parents' house in Arkansas. Yet another figment of this imaginary tale. Multiple people have spoken to Hannah on the phone, but never face-to-face. She often denies requests to video chat. At one point, those close to her asked for proof of who she was, and she provided a photo. Unfortunately, the photo she provided was pulled from someone else's Facebook profile. It's really not hard to do a Google search. You just drag and drop pictures into the Google search, and you can find out where any photo originates from. 2 separate sources have confirmed that the photo below was given by Hannah as proof of identity. Okay. At this point, we've pretty much confirmed that 37-year-old Jennifer Bays is cosplaying as Hannah, and that Hannah does not even exist. Neither does her husband Tony, at least not in that capacity, nor does she have 14 kids. So has Hannah shared anything that is true, or is this just one big imaginary tale? One last point. I've crafted this thread as carefully as I could, exposing just enough detail to confirm what I've found without compromising additional names, locations, or addresses. I've withheld images from certain parts because of the sensitive nature. I hope that Jennifer will come clean about her ruse and apologize to those she's hurt with her lies. Sometimes these things start off fun, then spiral out of control, and I think that's where this is now. Darn Skippy. Okay, so then she deleted her profile and then she turned it back on half an hour later. God, I love Twitter so much. Defense takes the stand. Okay, so now here's some tweets of her arguing back and forth. You know, I have FaceTime with her, so there's that. I'm not going to sit here and dignify a ridiculous rabbit hole with any more defenses of her. I said what I said. I think that you are doing with me too. She should evaluate. Let's go to her husband. Patriarchy Hannah and I have been friends for 3 years. Dude, all these trads, they all are networked together and they keep a closed circuit. So if you aren't touting their script, then you can't be part of their club. So if you go to the trads and you approach them with like a legitimately traditionalist, input, they will totally block you, oust you, run you off. They are not about being legitimately traditional in any way. A lot of them are LARPing and they all know they're LARPing. Imagine her reposting an account with the name as defense of her, the rapist. That is quite the name. I'm going to have to bleep that out so I don't get in trouble with YouTube. Yeah. I cannot even take this seriously. And we'll show you their true colors. Friends will see you at your lowest point and be like, how can I make dopamine off this? And then now we're getting into the comments. So much more than using a pseudonym online. Yeah, that's true. Like, I don't use my real countenance on the internet 90%, 99.99% of the time because I don't want that kind of attention. I'm not faking anything. I just don't use my image of myself. I have a crazy weird avatar that somebody made me over 10 years ago that I love, and it's not cute, but it was a gift and I love it. And so that's what I use. And people have given me flack for that for a long time. Like, why don't you get rid of your avatar? It has sentimental value, okay? I like it. But in the thumbnail of my video, What Do Women Bring to the Table, it has a picture of me. Like, on the thumbnail, you can see what I actually look like. And the face matches the voice. So eventually at some point I'll find somebody to have a conversation with, like live streaming or whatever, and you'll see me like moving and talking and all that stuff, like IRL, on screen, whatever. I just think this is interesting because I have seen this coming for a long time. Like, trends come and go, you guys, and the trad trend needs to go. And it is not preserving any conservative values. And as we can see, this is just going to be the first of many people who end up either just dropping the thing and pretending like they weren't faking it, or getting outed for faking it. So that's pretty much the video, you guys. Do with this what you will. Take it however you want, but I hope that you take it as like an indication that it's time to move on, time to grow up and grow out of the trad thing. It was cute when you were like 17, 18, 19. Very demure, very cutesy, whatever, but time to get real, okay? If you're serious about finding a healthy relationship and creating a marriage, then I'm going to tell you what you need to bring to the table, and I'm going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to tell you how to do it. That's exactly what I'm going to do. And you're going to run into some challenges. People might think that you're faking it, and let me tell you what, if you fake it, you're not going to make it. But for all the girls out there who want to be real about it, real recognizes real, okay? So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for taking the time to sit with me while I went on my little exploratory investigation into Ryan Duff's thread and exposition of the Patriarchy Hannah account. And I appreciate your time and attention, guys. And that's all for now. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.